Right, thank you very much, Joel. Let's bring you this story. 80,000 clothing and textile workers' union are guaranteed a full pay during and after the COVID-19 lockdown. This is all due to a landmark agreement between the South African Clothing and Textile Workers' Union and the employers. Let's get more on this now with the union's Deputy General Secretary, that's Andre Kriel, who joins us via Skype. Mr. Kriel, thank you very much for your time. Tell us the key elements of this agreement.
I'm the General Secretary, not the Deputy General Secretary.
All right, apologies for that. Let's get on to that specific question I've just put to you, Mr. Kriel. What are the key elements of this historic agreement?
Well, the starting point of the agreement is that workers must get full pay during the course of the shutdown. As you know, the shutdown is suddenly thrust upon us, and it is not acceptable that workers who are amongst the poorest in our country are not able to have an income. That's the first principle and the main intention of the agreement. But then we said we can't run to government for everything. And we said we must look at our own resources. It is our duty to rise to the call of the nation to combat COVID-19, but we must do it ourselves and draw on our own resources and not just rely on government. Those are the two overriding principles. And then we said, let's look at what institutions exist in our industry that we can use to smooth some of the administrative problems that we anticipate. Let me give an example. When the UIF payments are going to be issued to working people in South Africa, there will be millions of them. We can just imagine what kind of chaos there would be throughout the country at Department of Labor offices.
Yeah.
So what's unique of this agreement is that we have found a conduit, which is the Bargaining Council of the clothing industry and the UIF, to transmit that in a very simplistic way directly to workers who qualify for this benefit. The way that it will work is that there will be the estimated amount of funds that clothing workers are entitled to from the UIF. That will be transmitted into a specially set up dedicated bank account managed by the Clothing Bargaining Council. From there, it will be transmitted to every registered company who is registered with the Clothing Bargaining Council, to their payroll systems. They will then transmit it instantaneously to workers. Now, what's important about this is that up until now, we have seen our labor market institutions just as separate institutions. So we have the UIF, and then you have the Office of the Registrar, as an example, and then you've got the Bargaining Council system. But up until now, there's never been real intercooperation to pursue common goals.
All right.
Here we have a national crisis, and we have the robust institutions that are solid, that can rise to the national challenge and deliver in a less administratively inefficient way, direct in a moment of crisis.
Mr. Kriel, I must thank you very much for that comprehensive explanation. Thanks indeed for your time. Sactwu General Secretary Andre Kriel joining us via Skype. Well,